All right, today we're diving into a really masterful piece of internet horror. We're gonna deconstruct it to figure out what makes it tick, what makes it so terrifying. We're talking about the story of the Crossroads Diner, a tale that proves you don't need a massive budget or a long runtime to get under someone's skin. And it all starts with a simple set of rules.
So think about this rule for a second. This is how the story hooks you. It's not just some vague, spooky warning, it's a direct threat to your own reality, to your sense of self. It's so specific, so personal, and just deeply unsettling. This one sentence immediately tells you, hey, the normal laws of the universe, they don't apply here.
And you know what's so genius about this? The setting. This isn't some old haunted castle. It's a 24/7 diner in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. It's a place we all recognize, a place that feels real. And because it's so mundane and relatable, all the bizarre stuff that's about to happen feels so much more jarring, and honestly, so much more believable. It grounds the terror in our world.
So, the entire story hinges on this one little thing, a laminated sheet of paper. Our narrator, just a teenager, gets it on his first graveyard shift. But these aren't your typical employee rules, mop the floors or clean the grill. No, this is basically a contract with the unknown. And the whole story is about what happens when that contract gets broken.
Okay, let's just run through these, because they're brilliant. Each one builds a different kind of dread. Some of them prey on your senses, right? A bell with no source. Others target those social anxieties, like that unsettling customer you just get a bad vibe from. Together, they create this whole system of defenses against things we can't see. The story sets up these laws perfectly, just so we can feel the absolute terror when they inevitably get broken.
And here we go, the classic setup. The owner, Ray, gives this really casual but super ominous warning, and our narrator, like any of us probably would, just kind of dismisses it. He figures it's a prank, hazing for the new guy. This is so crucial because it makes his decision to break the rules later on feel completely natural.
For weeks, nothing. The normal, boring reality of a late-night diner takes over, and it lulls him into this false sense of security. And then, one night, the first test arrives. This is where the story's real engine finally kicks into gear.
And look at the time, 2:20 in the morning. We're deep in that quiet, weird part of the night when the world just feels different, asleep. The stage is perfectly set for things to go very, very wrong.
It starts with just a simple sound, a jingle from the bell on the door. But here's the thing, the story makes it crystal clear that the door didn't move. Right away, there's this disconnect, a sound without a cause. That's the first real sign that something is fundamentally broken about this place.
So naturally, he tries to explain it away. Oh, it must have been the wind. But the story immediately shuts that down. The parking lot is dead calm. And this little detail is so important because it just systematically strips away every logical explanation, leaving only one possibility, the supernatural one. And this is it. This is the pivotal moment. Curiosity just gets the better of him and he breaks rule number 1. It's not some big, dramatic action, it's just a single step over the threshold. But in stories like this, that's all it ever takes. This is a classic move in storytelling, the threshold crossing. By stepping outside, he has left the safe world behind and walked right into the realm of the unknown. And the story immediately shows us the consequence. When he steps back inside, the very air feels thicker. The physics of the place have changed. He didn't come back in alone.
You see, breaking that first rule wasn't just a one-and-done mistake. It was like he opened a door that was meant to stay locked forever. And now that the seal is broken, things are starting to crawl through, and the horror escalates fast.
Next up, the payphone. He actually tries to follow the rule this time. He lets it ring twice. But the ringing doesn't stop. That third ring, that fourth ring, it just wears him down. It shows that whatever this thing is, it's actively testing the boundaries, and he's failing the test.
And here's where it gets really twisted. The voice on the other end, it sounds just like his mom. But wait a minute, she lives 3 states away. This is such a brilliant horror tactic. It takes a symbol of ultimate safety and comfort, your mother's voice, and corrupts it into something impossible and absolutely terrifying. And just like that, the threat is no longer just a voice on the phone. It's inside. A woman walks in, and every single detail about her is just wrong. She's soaked, but it's not raining. Her smile is way too wide. And then she orders the usual, a direct violation of Rule 2. She is the physical result of him breaking the rules. This line is the real gut punch, the chilling confirmation. This entity isn't just some mindless monster, it's intelligent. It knows the rules, it knows he broke them, and it tells him flat out that he is responsible. The power dynamic has completely flipped. He's not an observer anymore, he's the prey.
So at this point, the story totally shifts gears. It goes from this atmospheric, creepy dread to a full-on fight for survival. The diner isn't just a place anymore. It has become a hostile trap, and our protagonist is caught inside.
His retreat to the office just hammers home how isolated he is. All his lifelines are being cut, one by one. The landline is dead, his cell phone has barely any service. He manages to send one desperate text to Ray for help, but for now, he is completely and utterly on his own.
The psychological terror here is just off the charts. The entity is no longer mimicking his mother. Now it's mimicking him. It's a profound violation, an attack on his very identity. The thing on the other side of the door is wearing his voice like a mask to try and lure him out.
And then this, just one word, scratching. A simple, primal sound. That patient, persistent scratching of nails on the door. You don't need any complex dialogue. That sound alone tells you everything you need to know about the relentless, predatory thing on the other side.
So, he manages to survive the night, but the story doesn't end there, not even close, because real horror isn't just about the chase, it's about the scars that are left behind. His escape is just the beginning of the fallout.
This timeline just shows how the experience never really let him go. That very night, he quits, leaves the keys, and gets out. Months later, he finds an online review that confirms he wasn't crazy. The rules aren't jokes. Eventually, years later, the diner closes down for good. But even now, when he drives by the abandoned building, he sees the lights are on. It's still alive, still waiting.
And this is the final devastating reveal. Driving past that abandoned diner years later, he sees someone inside, a whole group of people. And as they turn to look at him, they all have his face. The ultimate horror isn't that something wanted to kill him, it's that it wanted to replace him. The diner doesn't just haunt you, it makes copies.
And all of this leaves us with one last chilling thought. The entire story is about the terrible consequences of breaking the rules. But it makes you wonder, what's the alternative? What happens to the person who follows every single rule perfectly? Maybe the rules were never there to keep things out. Maybe they were just the procedure for your own replacement.